Hello everyone and welcome to this very special Halloween episode of History Laid Bare. I'm Dave C. Bannerman.
I'm Martin Ian Almond.
Let's get into it.
Yes.
3, 2, 1.
Did you push the button?
I pushed the button. It's on. It's going. Hooray. Hello. Welcome to the episode. Martin, Halloween.
Halloween. 31st of October. Every year.
Every year.
That was really sarcastic.
Kind of was, but fair enough. We move. We're rolling. Excuse me. Okay.
Are you okay, are you okay after the little incident with your vape?
I am. I'm fine now. I took a little bit too much.
Are you sure?
I'm okay. I'm fit to carry on, sir.
Good.
Okay. Did you go? Are you a Halloween fan? Is it your kind of thing? Is it your deal?
I was when I was a kid. I kind of fell off Halloween when I got a little bit older, and I like college and stuff. I was in work and everything.
Yeah.
But I was always working. I was in the kitchen doing food for parties and stuff, so it was kind of like, ugh, Halloween. But
Yeah.
the last few years, let's say maybe the last 10, 12 years, I've started to enjoy it again.
Fair enough. It's never really been my deal, to be honest. It just comes and goes. It's just another day for me. But I'm not knocking anyone's. People want to celebrate it. Fair enough. And
Yeah.
that's not what I'm about. I'm not stamping all over it. It's just never been my personally.
No, you've never really.
It's just come and gone.
I noticed that when we were younger, you were just like not really interested in it.
I mean, I did. People of a certain vintage will remember this. I did go trick or treating in a bin bag that your mum made with the stick on witch fingers.
The stick on witch fingers and the plastic hat and everything. Like
Absolutely terrible. Oh, that plastic shiny hat with the green hair coming out of it.
Yeah,
and the terrible face paint job your mum did.
Oh, do you know what? My face paint wasn't really that bad.
Well, I mean, the terrible face paint job everyone's mum did. Not just specifically your mum. or my mum.
It's a good job you
You
elaborated on that.
Yeah, definitely. I don't want my mum or your mum coming at me.
No, it's probably not a good idea.
No, certainly not. Okay. Do you know if you can... Are you okay?
Yeah, it seems to be a running theme with me and you. One episode, one of us hits the table. The next episode, the other one hits the table. Yeah, what is it with me and you in this table?
We're not safe. We need supervision. Just really quickly, we are recording in the place with the trains, so periodically you might hear rumblings. It's the trains going past the window.
Yeah, we're recording in my back room again.
Yeah.
We really need to put a bit of soundproofing up in here, but that might look a little bit weird.
It may do. People come in, what's that? You don't need to know.
Why have you got that stuff on the wall?
Yeah.
Stop asking odd questions.
Innit? Okay.
Anyway.
Halloween is it's a holiday a lot of people celebrate. I'll say holiday, it's more of like a festival, isn't it?
Well, I would actually say it is a festival, to be fair.
Yeah.
It's an old festival.
Old
Festival.
Old as the hills, you might say. Actually goes back to ancient Celts, believe it or not.
Really?
Yeah. I did a little bit of digging for the episode because obviously here at History Laid Bare,
I'm sorry, you did a little bit of digging on a Halloween episode.
I did. Excuse me.
Did you not see the? Why did that sound a little bit louder than it should do? Does that sound loud to you?
No, you sound just right.
Oh,
for once.
Huh? Wow.
Okay. Are we finished picking on each other now?
No, did you not see the pun there? You did a little bit of digging for Halloween.
I did. I didn't see it till you mentioned it, but okay, fair enough.
I'm sorry, but that tickled me.
Oh, well, I'm glad something did. Okay.
Wow.
What?
Let's not go there. There might be younger listeners.
All right, moving swiftly on.
Moving on.
Okay, so yeah, as we're saying, it goes back to ancient Celtic traditions. They celebrated it as the festival of. Now we struggled with this, didn't we? Do you want to have a go?
Well, the pronunciation that we found, well, through David's research, is Samhain.
Samhain, but if you look at it written, it's if I was to say it phonetically as it's written, it is Samhain.
Yeah.
But it's pronounced Sowin, apparently.
Or Samhain, or
Yeah.
Swin. Or,
Swin.
Swin.
No, you're missing letters out there.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't mean to miss the letters out there. I was just like glancing over at the notes. I was like,
Fair enough. Okay, so it's always been, this particular Samhain has always been celebrated on October 31st to November 1st, and they did it as kind of a transition festival. It was the end of the summer.
So technically, it was when usher in the harvest and the dark and cold months.
Yeah, exactly.
So you're looking at like obviously November, December, January, February, as we would think of them in the calendar now.
Yeah. But interestingly enough, the Celtic year ended with this festival. It was they celebrated their new year on November 1st.
Yeah, I was reading through the notes and I was actually quite intrigued about that.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting because, you know, I couldn't imagine any of them having calendars and stuff up on the walls. But
they don't. But
the sun
would have had they would have known the turn of the season. By
absolutely.
The position of the sun and obviously the moon and the stars.
Yeah.
Well, what you got to realise is they would have also had like obviously Stonehenge.
Well, yeah, Stonehenge.
They probably could have had smaller
henges,
or no. Well, to be fair, I don't think anybody knows what Stonehenge actually really is.
No, I mean there's loads of theories about that. Yeah,
that's diving into something that we're not really meant to be talking about. But
nope, that is not for this episode.
That technically could be classed as a calendar.
Well, yeah, it's well more of a. I don't know if it season measurement device,
maybe,
possibly. We're going on a tangent, but you know it's an interesting one, and yeah.
Sorry, I did go on a tangent there.
Yeah, we do tend to wander off on this podcast from time to time.
The Wandering Podcast.
Hey, that's the one. Okay. So we'll copyright that so no one can pinch you.
Someone's probably already got a podcast in the name of that, to be fair.
Well, in that case, then we don't want any copyright issues.
No, we don't.
Yeah. So Samhain was when the ancient Celts they'd usher in the new year, the winter, the cold, and they'd go out into the fields and they'd gather up all the rest of the harvest that wasn't collected, and they'd let the hearth fires burn down. Now that struck me because the hearth fire is for these sort of people was life. Fire was life.
Well, yeah.
Fire was heat, food, and light. So to let that burn down and burn out is quite a big deal.
Oh yeah, that's a very big deal, especially the times we're talking about.
Yeah, absolutely. It was also believed that at this particular time of year, the barriers between the physical and spiritual world were broken down, or certainly at their weakest. Now, I couldn't find any information as to why they believe that, but maybe it's to do with the transition from light to dark.
Well, maybe it could be the fact that Samhain, as I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that right, it was the midpoint between the autumn equinox, which, as a lot of people know, some people might not, is when the sun shines directly on the equator, giving the northern and southern hemispheres the same amount of light. And it was the midpoint between the autumn equinox and the winter solstice, which is the shortest day of the year. So maybe they thought the barriers between the physical and the spiritual were more permeable at that point, the weakest.
Maybe. As I say, it's a good theory, but I couldn't find any information at all as to why. But Samhain, excuse me, it was recognised by the ancient Celts as the most important of the 4 festivals. Now, during the research, I've seen these called fire festivals, I've seen them called marker festivals, I've seen them called all different kinds. We're just going to call them festivals.
Now, you're going to laugh at this. I remember something from, I hate to mention a film in our podcast, but obviously Ghostbusters. We all know what Ghostbusters is.
Well, we've all heard of it, even if you haven't seen it.
Now, do you know about the animated series that they did?
I do not.
Right. Well, there's an episode in the first season of the animated series that actually deals with the background of Halloween, and it does mention that Samhain is attributed to being the Celtic festival of fire.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. You'll find out why in a minute, listeners.
Now, I only remembered that. The other day because I've got the first season upstairs and I watched it a few months back. And
okay.
I was like, I'm sure I've heard about this a little bit.
Okay, fair enough. So a little bit of education going on in our cartoons there.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Great stuff. Well, with you saying fire, it was actually right. I'll just run through the other festivals quickly. I'm not sure when they took place. I'm assuming between equinoxes and on sort of other important times of the year.
Oh, that would make a bit of sense, to be fair.
Yeah, so I'm going to let Martin... We know Samhain. I'm going to let Martin take the next 2, and I'm going to attempt the last one. Go for it.
Beltane.
Okay, that sounds right to me.
Imbolg.
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 Imbolg. We could be pronouncing these horrifically wrong.
Oh, yeah. I do apologise if I've just slaughtered the pronunciation of them. I really do.
Okay, now the last one. I had to look this one up. I'm sorry I did. Lunarsar.
As I said before, that is not the way it is spelt.
It
does not sound like that at all.
It does not, but this is what I found out. Well, I found that this is how you pronounce it. Lunarsar, it's spelled Lugh, N for November, ASAD for Delta, H. Lunarsar. But to look at it phonetically, it says Lugnasadr.
Yeah.
I would say, but apparently, according to sources I looked at,
you pronounce it as Lunarsar.
It's Lunarsar. So that maybe tells me that we've got the other 2 wrong as well. I didn't look them up. I'll be honest. I didn't have time.
It probably would have been a good idea to look them up. To be fair,
possibly. But what we are doing, little announcement on the Halloween special. Is
do you want me to take this one?
You be my guest, Martin. You have the stage.
Right. So, Dave only sprung this on me before. Actually, I say before, he sent me the notes for this over last night and I noticed it, but I didn't take it on board. And he was like, oh, by the way, we're doing this. We're actually working on a Facebook page that's obviously going to be hosting information about upcoming podcasts and episodes and keeping a list of concurrent episodes through the series that we've got running at the moment. So, if you want to know anything more about the podcast, ourselves, myself and David, and what we're looking into, what we're researching, and possibly having maybe a few sneak peeks of what might be coming up.
Maybe.
The Facebook page will be up and running as soon as I can get it going.
Absolutely. Fantastic. And we'll see, the plan was for the idea for the Facebook page was obviously to bring a visual element to this.
Oh yeah.
You know, we could pop up some video clips and bits and bobs and all the rest of it. But it was to just give more information about the stuff that we run across the podcast, but we don't go into.
Yeah, there's been a few tangents where we got off on a few episodes.
And I'm just wondering if people are thinking, oh, I'd like to know more about that. So we will do the deal. You okay?
Yeah, just got an itchy eye.
Itchy eye.
Oh, sorry about that.
That's quite all right.
When you've got an itch, you've got an itch.
It needs scratching.
Oh yeah.
We're gonna have to cut that bit out. Okay, so there you go. That was the information about the Facebook page, and as I say, I just wanted to give a bit of a more visual element to the podcast, because it's audio. People listen, fair enough, but people might want to know a little bit more about what we're saying, a little bit more about these tangents that we always go along, because we do.
Yeah, we do have a tendency to go off on tangents.
We do wander, don't we?
Yeah.
And also, if you know,
do you know what? We should have actually called this the Wondering Podcast.
We've done that joke.
Oh, yeah, we have, haven't we?
Second copyright strike.
This is what happens when you wake up at 6:15 in the morning.
Please don't mention it again.
Oh my!
Are we ready? Are we back in the room?
Probably not.
We do our best anyway. So
yeah, we do try. We do try to make sure that our information is as accurate.
We do.
Historically correct as we can possibly make it.
Yeah, but I just want to jump in. That's why these episodes take such a long time, because the research is extensive. Because we're researching the weirder parts of history.
Yeah, we are actually, aren't we?
So the sources aren't always available. One might say one thing, and another source might say something else, and then the third source could say something completely different. So it takes time.
We are going through a lot of conflicting sources, and it does take a.
But that's why these episodes take. Plus, we're both busy in other areas, but you know, this is a little labour of love. This, isn't it? We enjoy doing this.
Oh yeah, we enjoy doing this.
Okay, so Facebook page, when it's up, we will let you know.
Yeah, we'll definitely let you know when the Facebook page is up.
And there'll be more information about everything that we speak about, and I'm going to have to go through back episodes and figure out the tangents and maybe find some info. I'm just giving myself a load more work here, aren't I?
Yeah, you really are.
Okay, I don't mind. I love it. Bring it on. So where were we with this? Right, so there's the 4 festivals. I'm going to run through them again. Samhain, Beltane, Imbolg, and Lunarsar. Shaking his head again.
Right.
I promise you that's how. Look, after we finished here with this recording,
right. Okay,
look it up.
What I want to say is, it's not spelt like that, as we know.
No.
But the way you're saying it, it must be the way that it's said phonetically.
Well, phonetically it'd be Lunarsar.
Oh no, yeah, it would, wouldn't it? Yeah,
but it's Lunarsar. That's just anyway. That's what I.
Do you know what? I swear to God, I am actually quite intelligent.
We both are. Well, we pretend to be. So as we said, Samhain, transition between light and dark for the Celts. Really important time of the year. The most, the biggest of the festivals, the 4 festivals. Interest in the Mountain's Fire, you'll find out why in a minute. Because it's as I say, it's the time of year that the Celts let the hearth fires burn out. Now that is important, because
this is going to be important for later on.
It is. So once the harvest was in, then all the people in the village, the settlement, would all gather together, and you know, along with the druids, priests, for those who don't know, they did exist, and they'd light a big community bonfire.
Now, some reports say that they used a wheel that created sparks to represent the sun, but in all honesty, Dave couldn't find any evidence of this or even what it could possibly have been called. But during this, prayers were said, cattle were slaughtered, people wore animal skins and headdresses to try and frighten off the spirits, and everyone took a flame from the community fire to relight their own hearths.
which I think's nice.
Yeah,
It's nice that.
Do you know what that kind of not screams to me, it kind of says to me,
It's family, it's community,
it's family, it's community, but in a nutshell, that's the community spirit.
Yeah, and it's relighting sort of hope, if you like. If you want to go this way with it, you could be relighting. You're taking your life from the community. So I had a little brain wander. As you do.
Was this at home or was this in work?
No, my brain doesn't wander in work.
Are you sure?
Absolutely. Don't be getting me in trouble now.
No, my brain doesn't wander in work either.
No, I have these thoughts mainly when I'm driving. To be fair,
is that safe?
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. So yeah, I was driving along and I'm thinking about the podcast and the community fire. And I'm thinking, okay, well, community does give life.
Well, yeah, it does.
It's protection. It's nourishment. It's everything else. Fire, it also gives life. Although it burns and destroys, it does give life.
Light, heat,
cooking,
yeah,
etc. Warmth, heat. So the community bonfire would to me represented in my head, represented the community as a whole. And then people taking flames back to the hearths was representing people taking more life from the community to carry on through the winter. Does that make sense? Or have I just wandered off into madness? No.
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it might make sense in such a way as I said that the community bonfire could represent the community spirit.
Absolutely.
So they're taking a flame of that spirit back to the home to reignite it through the winter.
Basically, yeah.
So basically what you've just said, I've just shortened it down.
Pretty much. That's the first time that's ever happened.
I know.
But yeah.
But no, I understand what you're saying. I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah, so they're taking the strength to carry on through the winter from the community, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, so it is that community spirit.
Yeah, absolutely. So early texts that I did come across sort of online and, reading about different places. They said Samhain, I keep going to say it as it's spelled.
Yeah.
I keep going to say it as it's written. They presented Samhain as a mandatory celebration that lasted 3 days and 3 nights. And during this celebration, you went it wasn't if you wanted to. You were obliged, you were required to go and present yourself in front of your local leader, be that a local king or a chieftain. And it was considered bad luck if you didn't. So if you didn't go up to your king or your chieftain and go, "Hi, here I am, hello," it would have
my lord.
Your house might have fallen down, your family might have gotten ill, your crops might not have grown the next year, or you could have died. That was what they believed.
Let's just broaden it a little bit more. It was not doing this was considered to bring bad luck, illness, and as Dave's just said, even death.
Yeah.
So I'd say it could be a little bit of an affront if you weren't.
Maybe. Basic message is get out and see the chief.
Basically, yeah, get outside and see the chief, or go and see the local lord or the king or whatever.
Yeah, go and get involved. But that's good because then that stopped, like, people being ostracised and.
Well, yeah, it would stop people from being ostracised. Obviously, at that point in time in history, we do know through archaeological finds there were people that were ousted from the settlements.
There was hermits and
there was
loners and wild men and
women. And
have you ever been invited to a party that you just didn't want to go to?
Oh, there's been a fair few.
Yeah, same. I just imagine you had to go to that. Just imagine that was mandatory.
Oh.
Ugh.
Oh.
Yeah. You just get home from work, you get out the shower, you think, I just want to go on the couch, put the telly on, and just have my tea.
I want to eat my tea
and just
have a
watch some rubbish on the telly.
I don't want to step back outside the door until tomorrow.
But no, You are required to go and get dressed, required to do your hair, required to put your aftershave and all that stuff on and go out and enjoy yourself. Oh, the horror.
Do you know what? For an introvert, that'd be like...
It would be awful. Yeah.
It would be absolutely awful, especially if you've been in work all day and you're completely and utterly drained.
Horrendous. Ireland, though, they took it a little bit further. According to what I've read, I can't claim it's true. I can't say with any 100% certainty that this is true. But, Martin, what did they do in Ireland if you didn't go to the party?
Oh, well, it's believed in Ireland in particular you could be executed if you didn't take part in the festival and present yourself to your local leader. So, let's put this into perspective. 2,000 years ago, the Celts of Ireland, the UK and northern France celebrated the New Year on November 1st as it marked the end of the summer and the start of the winter.
But if you didn't go, particularly if you lived in Ireland, you could be done in.
You could be executed.
That's heavy.
Now,
that's heavy. That.
As Dave said, we don't know whether the accounts that we've checked or Dave has checked for the research on this are 100% accurate, but you could always have a look for yourselves.
You could.
Do
Absolutely.
a little bit more digging.
Do a little bit of digging yourself if you wanted to. That was sort of 2,000 years ago. So they dress up in costumes. They dress up. Let's get in a little bit more into the actual celebration itself. They dressed up in costumes, animal skins, hides, all that. What for, I hear you asking? Well, it was to ward off the spirits. It was to frighten the spirits away. Because, don't forget, October 31st, Samhain, is the night that the barrier between the physical and spiritual world is broken or weak. So, spirits are coming through.
Now, when these spirits were coming through, they were thought to have been able to cause trouble, damage crops, and generally be a nuisance.
Yeah.
But it was... October 31st was also allowed the Druids to make prophecies and predictions that became a source of comfort to the communities during the dark, cold winter months.
Which, okay, fair enough. Also, they used to leave banquet tables out with food on to placate the spirits. I'm jumping ahead in the notes, I am. Because I wrote the notes out of order.
Yeah, I kind of noticed you jumping ahead.
Sorry about that. But yeah, it's relevant to this bit. So they'd leave banquet tables out and, homes would be left open and all that kind of stuff. Placate the spirits. But let's move up a little bit further up the timeline to where the Romans started getting hold of it. So, 43 AD, let's roll it forward to 43 AD. The Roman Empire has conquered the vast majority of Celtic territory in Europe. Right?
Let's just point out this is Northern Europe.
Northern Europe. Yeah, well, okay. So for those who may not know, Celtic peoples were Northern France, UK, Scotland, Ireland. I know Scotland is in the UK, but UK. So England, Scotland, Ireland.
Northern France.
In Northern France. I'm going to say Wales as well because what I read, it said United Kingdom. And Welsh is a form of Celtic.
Well, yeah, Welsh is a form of Celtic.
Or is it Gaelic?
Okay.
I don't know.
Let
Is Welsh Celtic or Gaelic?
Do you know what? I actually don't know.
I don't know.
I think I know.
Oh dear. We don't know.
Southern Irish is Gaelic.
Southern Irish is Gaelic.
I think Northern Irish is Gaelic as well. So
Irish. Let's just say Irish.
No, let's just say Irish.
And then there's Gaelic in Scotland. Scots Gaelic.
Yeah,
I know that. Actually, now I think about it, I'm pretty sure Welsh is a form of Gaelic. But where did Gaelic come from? Maybe we should do a podcast on language.
Maybe we should.
Maybe we should have an episode on language and how language originated, where it come from. Be interesting.
Interesting.
Okay, right.
Anyway,
we'll put that in the book. That's not going on the Facebook page. We'll put that in the book. We may do something with that. So yes, the Romans are now in charge. Roman Empire has come in with its big sandal foot and gone, this is ours.
Yeah.
I
I'd have gotten nothing else.
thought there was more coming. I was looking all expectant then. Nope.
Like,
Yep.
nope. Yep.
That's your lot.
Big sandaled foot.
Okay.
Both. There
Right.
you go.
So over the next 400 years, which is what, the Romans ruled for, roughly, in these areas that we're talking about, a couple of festivals began to merge with Samhain. One was Feralia, which is a day in late October, funny enough, when Romans celebrated the passing of their dead. So the people that they'd lost, nothing to do with the Celts. This is the Roman celebration, Feralia. And then the second day was to honour Pomona. Now this one's quite interesting because, Martin,
Pomona is the Roman goddess of fruit and trees whose symbol is an apple. So, the incorporation of this festival could be the origin of what we've come to know as Duck Apple.
Duck Apple. I used to love Duck Apple.
Oh, I love Duck Apple.
Duck Apple, if you don't know, you'd fill a bowl with water and you just throw apples in it. And you put
throw apples and you just try and get them out
Yeah.
as quick as you can
Yeah.
with your teeth.
It was a bowl or a bucket. You put your hands behind your back. That was a rule.
Oh,
You
yeah.
had to put your hands behind your back. And when we did it, there'd be like 20 peas and stuff stuck in the apple. You're only little. I got a pound in one once.
Oh, get you.
I know.
Rich.
I felt minted.
You're like, I've got a pound, I'm going to shop.
That's the one. So yeah, but it took a long time for those customs and traditions and festivals to all merge. So that's talking 400 years. Then the church starts getting involved. Do you want to take it from here?
Yeah, we're gonna jump ahead a couple of 100 years now to May the 13th, 609 AD, and this would be commonly known as I'm assuming it's All Saints' Day, is it not? Or is
It was originally All Martyrs' Day.
All Martyrs' Day?
Yeah.
But Pope Boniface IV declares the Pantheon in Rome in honour of all Christian martyrs. Religion is encroaching on these holidays, these festivals now.
The church is starting to look and think, we want some of this.
They're wanting to try and amalgamate everything.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that's probably the right word.
Yeah.
The Catholic feast of All Martyrs' Day was established, but then in 835 AD, Pope Gregory III moves All Saints' Day to November the 1st, possibly we don't know whether this was possibly to try and substitute Samhain, which by this point is viewed as a pagan celebration.
Yeah. So just to sort of wrap up any confusion, All Martyrs' Day became All Saints' Day over time, and that was on May 13th.
Oh yeah, that's why I was like,
yeah.
Wait a minute, what?
Okay, I just wanted to brush that up for people. So All Martyrs' Day became All Saints' Day, originally on May 13th, and then it was moved to try and substitute or to try and appropriate the now pagan, the now viewed as pagan celebration of Samhain. But by the 9th century, Christianity was really beginning to take hold in Europe. People were really getting into it. And it began to merge with, and in a lot of cases, it supplanted many of the ancient Celtic festivals, customs and traditions. And that's
kind of a sad situation to be in, to be fair.
It is, because it's, do what we want to do, not what you've done for 1,000 years or however long, right back into the deep dark mists of time. You're doing it this way now, and I don't like that.
No, I don't like that myself. It's
I know we shouldn't give opinions out, but I don't like that.
It seemed, in my opinion, and we don't, as Dave just said, we don't generally give our opinions out on this, but that, in my opinion, is an affront to a very ancient religion.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, it's do as we say, not what, I'm not into it.
No, I'm not into that at all. It's
But by 1000 AD,
I don't want to say what that is.
let's not. I mean, I'm sure people get the inference.
Oh, yeah.
But by 1000 AD, the church had made All Souls Day. So now we've got All Saints Day on November the 1st.
And now we've got All Souls Day, another day to honour the dead.
On November the 2nd. Now, the belief is that this was solely done. The only reason All Souls Day exists, or existed, or was even thought up, was to try and replace Samhain, the Celtic Festival of the Dead, with a related, but importantly,
church-sanctioned festival.
Yeah. So the church wanted to put their stamp on it and say, yeah, we say it's okay, but you're doing it this way.
Which
Again,
is...
not a fan.
No,
I'm not a fan.
The inference is there. I'm not going to say what I would like to say. But,
No. No. Respect all belief, respect all cultures, fine.
Yeah.
Don't muscle in, even historical ones and ancient ones, don't muscle in and try and tell them they're wrong because they don't believe the same thing as you. No. It's not right. But we're getting dangerously political there now. So we
are getting a little bit political there, Dave.
Let's roll it back.
Roll it back.
Right. I want to jump on the word Halloween because we've been talking about Samhain.
And we haven't mentioned the words Halloween and how
not really, no.
And Halloween are extremely interconnected.
So, but it's the word that interests me. Halloween. You know?
Yeah.
I wanted to know where that come from, and I found out. Okay. Now stay with me, folks. Are we ready?
We're ready.
All Saints Day, which is now on November 1st, was celebrated in a really similar way to Samhain. So it was with bonfires, people were wearing costumes and everything else, dancing and drinking, I suppose, mead or whatever they drank, and leaving food out, blah, blah, blah. So, but it was also called All Hallows, and over time it became All Hallows. And then eventually it was All Hallow Mass. All Hallow Mass is believed to be from the Middle English. All Hallow Mass is believed to be from the Middle English Al Hallow Messi, I think.
What?
Al Hallow Messi. I'm saying it might not be. Or Al Hallow Messi.
The way looking at the way that it spells, it does look like Al Hallow Messi.
Yeah.
To be fair.
Okay. Al Hallow Messi, Al Hallow Messi. However it's pronounced, I'm sorry, I am ruining these pronunciations. I am. It's one thing we do on this podcast, isn't it? We'd never look up pronunciations, and we really should start because
we really should.
Yeah. But
as I said before, we are actually intelligent.
We do try. But however you pronounce it, it means All Saints Day. Now, the night before All Hallows, which is the ancient Celtic Samhain, October 31st, became All Hallows Eve the night before. So eventually, over time, this got contracted to a Scottish term, E'en, E-double-E-N, E'en, which is evening. And then over the next few hundred years, it morphed into Halloween. So you've got All Hallows, Hallow, Hallow Evening, Halloween.
Do you know what? That's actually a good progression from where it started to how it is now.
Yeah.
It does make a lot of sense.
So it took a big jump from Samhain to All Hallows.
Oh, yeah.
But that was the progression I found. And it's still a really popular holiday.
It's extremely popular. It's
festival. Sorry, I said holiday.
It's an extremely popular festival. It seems to be gaining more popularity in the UK than it used to have when we were kids.
Yeah. To be true, well, I suppose to be honest, yeah, it is. But then it's been a lot more heavily commercialised.
Yeah, there has. Because there's a lot of commercialisation behind Halloween.
We were kids in the late 80s, early 90s.
It was...
And Halloween's been around for 1,000 years, okay, fair enough. But as I say, in my family, we didn't really. It wasn't our thing, you know. It's not really
Yeah.
a thing for us.
Yeah.
Some
No,
families go all out,
Oh yeah, some families do go all out.
and fair play to you. You do your thing.
Do your thing, enjoy yourself, have a laugh, have a good time, have a massive party, and just eat, drink, and be merry.
Yeah, I mean, there's decorations, there's costumes. It was just never something we did. But a lot of people think that the trick or treating. Now, a lot of people do think this. They believe trick or treating is an American thing.
Oh no! Trick or treating is not an American thing.
No.
This is one thing I did know.
Yeah.
That trick or treating wasn't actually an
Americanism.
Americanization
Yeah.
of a ancient European festival.
Yeah.
It's the only way to put it, to be fair.
Play. Well, since I took Halloween and I ran with the word and the etymology.
The morphing of the etymology of the word.
Yeah. The etymology. Entomology is the study of bugs.
For God's sake.
I promise you, we're clever.
I really am clever.
So
I promise you.
I took the etymology. So you tell everyone where trick or treating come from.
Right. Etymology. There we go. I pronounced it correctly. Way.
Very good.
Anyway. Right. Trick or treating. During Samhain, as we've already discussed, Celts would dress in animal skins to drive evil spirits from their communities, fields and sacred places. Now, we've already told you about the banquet tables that were prepared and left out to help placate unwelcome phantom visitors. Now, everyone, as we said, everyone thinks that trick or treating is an Americanization. But it's not. From what I say we've found, Dave did the lion's share of the research on this one. Later people started dressing as ghosts, demons and monsters to perform antics for food and drink. Now this became known as mumming back in the Middle Ages.
See, sorry, I don't mean to jump in, but when you're saying mumming, there is an expression I heard a long time ago. I've only ever heard it once, really, but it stuck with me because I never got it. Mummer's farce.
Oh.
And as I'm doing the research for this, I seen that this medieval custom of singing and dancing and dressing up and for money and treats
Mummer's farce
was mumming. I thought, could that be related? Is that where Mummer's farce comes from? Now, if you don't know what Mummer's farce is if something's ridiculous, if something's stupid and idiotic, you go, oh, it's a Mummer's farce. Apparently, it's not really used anymore. It's an old expression.
Yeah, it's a very old expression. I think the last person I heard utter that, other than you just then. Oh wow. It was probably someone in work. It was a guest.
Yeah. I bet he was an older gent, was he?
Yeah, he was. I'd say he was he must have been in his late 80s, early 90s. Lovely gent.
Yeah,
really
yeah.
Was.
Fair play. But yeah.
Absolute character.
I just struck me and I thought, I just need to jump in. I didn't mean to interrupt. The floor is yours.
Thank you. Now, back to mumming. Mumming, as it became known in the Middle Ages, is thought to be the beginning of trick or treating. Another theory is that people would visit the homes of the wealthy and receive pastries called soul cakes. Now, this was for a promise to pray for the wealthy family's deceased relatives. Whether the people did pray for the deceased relatives, it remains to be seen whether they did or they didn't.
That's open to question, isn't it?
It is open to question, it's open to conjecture. But over time, people, especially children, began to sing, dance and recite poems, tell jokes or perform tricks for the treats. So, That's where we get trick or treating.
That's a couple of theories of where it come from, but again, really ancient roots. You know, going right back to the ancient Celts, leaving banquet tables out for the spirits and the I've forgotten the word.
Phantoms.
Phantoms. There we go. Thank you very much. Yeah. So that was a brief history of Halloween.
Yeah, a very brief history of Halloween.
Yeah.
You know, that's, as Dave said earlier on, it does take a while for these things to be researched. So
It does.
That's why it takes so long for an episode to come out, because this has taken Dave a lot of research to do.
It does, and it doesn't sound like it. You know, when we're sitting here just talking and going through our notes and everything else. I'm just going to look at our little recorder here, see what. Right. So we're on 45 minutes. Wow.
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 I think some of it maybe.
It may not be 45 minutes.
Maybe due to the tangent and stuff like that, but you know.
Yeah, 45 minutes.
We always have a tangent.
Yeah. But it does take time, and it is difficult, especially with me being so busy and Martin being so busy, and we both got lives away from the microphones, and you know, but that's why these things take so long. I just wanted to tell people why they take so long.
Yeah. No, I think people will appreciate the fact that they do take a certain amount of time to do.
Yeah.
And it does take a lot of research, and
you know, we also have to come across stories and think up ideas to do. And,
oh yeah.
And occasionally I could be anywhere and I'll be flicking through my phone or, you know, online, whatever, and I'll see something and I'll go, oh, you know, and I jump on it. That's basically how all our episodes start, except maybe this one.
It was like me with the episode for HMS Glowworm. As soon as I seen that, I was like, oh, okay, straight and got the link, sent it straight over to you, and there you go. We had an episode.
Hey presto! And if you haven't heard that one, go back and listen, because that is one of my favourites.
Oh yeah, that's definitely that.
Absolutely.
I actually really like the story for that, and it's got a very surprising twist ending.
Go for it. Go and enjoy it. Should we do a little chat? Have a little chat about? Do you know of any hauntings or any ghosts and ghoulies knocking about?
Well, there's a few that I know from the local area, like that was really scouse like lad.
Okay, just be careful not to give away where we actually are.
Oh well, if people can't tell by the way our accent sounds, but you know, there you go.
It's a big place.
Yeah, it is a big place, but
we'll cut this out.
Anyway.
Anywho. But yeah, I mean, our city, Liverpool, is a very, very haunted place.
Oh yeah, it's definitely a very haunted place. I know a few stories from the local area. There's one that I told you about, and you were like, "Well, I've never heard about that." And you live up by there, which was the ghost train. Down by Walton train station.
Yeah.
And you were like, I've never even heard of that.
No.
Now, I was told about that when I was a kid.
I'd never heard of it. I'd heard something that goes across a patch of wasteland not too far from where I live. But I hadn't heard of anything down Kirkdale, down Walton, down that way.
Yeah, I remember this from when I was about 8 or 9 years old, maybe.
Okay.
And it was.
I
went up there with my brother, one of our next door neighbours' sons, who I'm still good friends with now, and another member of my family. And this was on Halloween, and the trains are finished for the night. Now, if anyone's been down by Walton train station, you know that the station's open 24 hours a day. There's no way that it isn't. Now, you can get down onto the platform quite easily.
Okay.
Right? And we didn't even stand on the platform. We were on the bridge. And I can tell you now, Dave, there was no rain, there was no wind. The night was still. Right? If it was a pond and you looked out of it on a moonlit night, it wouldn't be moving, if you know what I mean.
I'm with you.
Nice. And there was I don't know whether it was our imagination or something else, but there was the smell of coal coming from, obviously, I didn't know it at the time, but the smell of coal coming from a boiler being burned. And there was like I don't know how to describe it, like a whooshing sensations, like wind going under the bridge. And that smell of smoke, coal and soot permeated the air all around us. And you could smell it. And you could feel something going under that bridge. Now that bridge has been there for years. Probably since the station opened. But it was very unnerving. Very, very unnerving. To even feel that sensation.
Wow.
And to smell that as well.
Jeez.
You know, just like, you're like 8 or 9 years old, you're like, oh my God, that's a ghost train.
Wowza. I can't claim to ever have seen anything. I can't.
I've looked it up. I've tried looking it up. I go 4, 5, 6, 7 times, maybe more, and I've never been able to find anything about it. Now, don't get me wrong, I might be putting in the wrong words for the search.
Well, when you told me about this a little while ago, I did actually have a little look, see if I could find anything. I couldn't either.
So, I'm assuming that it's happened a very, very long time ago. But the local records for around here are actually quite accurate.
Right.
Especially for the railways and stuff like that.
Fair enough. Have you ever heard of Mackenzie's tomb?
Is this the pyramid-shaped tomb in the city centre?
It is. It's the only structure like it. It's on Rodney Street in the city centre.
Oh, yeah,
It's the only structure like it in the city, really.
Yeah.
And it's a tomb. It's a tomb of a guy called William Mackenzie. He was a civil engineer in the city. I've forgotten the date. Oh,
Are you gonna look this up?
I'm just going to quickly look the date up. Let me just. Sorry. Sometimes we need some help with these things. Okay, so it was around 1830s, 1840s, 1850s.
Yeah.
Okay. This guy actually helped construct the Lime Street Tunnel. You know, it's called the cutting.
Oh, the cutting coming out of Lime Street into Wedge Hill.
Oh, along to Edge Hill. He was responsible for that. Either partly or fully, I don't know. But partly, you know. Anyway.
Well, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Oh. So, Mr. Mackenzie, he liked to gamble.
I'd heard he was a prolific gambler.
He was a big old gambler, and he loved cards. Cards was his thing. So he reportedly made a deal with the devil. If you can believe that. Okay, this is the story.
Yeah, this is the story. Let's go with it.
He made a deal with the devil for lifelong luck in exchange for his soul.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh.
So kind of the classic pact, if you like.
The classic pact between someone and the devil. You give me this, I give you my immortal soul, blah, blah, blah.
That's the one. Okay, but there's a nice little twist at the end of this. It's spooky, but it's not, if you get me. When he died in 1851, he was entombed above ground in the pyramid-shaped tomb, right?
Yeah.
He's believed to be in there, sat upright, in this tomb, sat upright as if at a table with a winning hand of cards. Okay, I kid you not. This is the story. He's meant to be sat upright as if at a table in the tomb with a winning hand of poker cards.
Well, that's not freaky at all, is it?
because he didn't want the devil to take his soul, and he insisted on being interred above ground, so the devil couldn't get him. Couldn't get him. And it's not particularly spooky, but I just think, go ahead, lad.
Go ahead, lad.
Innit?
Now, there's one more that I want to talk about now.
Let's do it.
I sent you the link to this.
You did.
Yesterday.
Oh, Bow Street time slip.
Oh,
Sorry.
yeah,
Sorry.
He's just given away.
I couldn't hold me. I couldn't hold it. I'm sorry, I couldn't hold it.
I couldn't hold it. Sorry.
Tell us about the Bow Street time slip. I do like this one.
Now, I only found out about this yesterday. So,
Yesterday?
Yeah, really, yesterday. I did not know anything about this at all.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Now, apparently, around the city centre, there's a few time slips that have supposedly happened, but Bow Street seems to be the most prolific.
Yeah.
If that's the right word. Now, when we say time slips, we mean going back in time. When people think time travel or time slip, it's like the 1800s or the 1900s or something like that. Now, most of the sightings on Bow Street that these have happened have been around the 1950s and the 1960s. And that's extremely strange in itself, because
I heard this.
Even, as I just said, even the website that I found this on has said most time travel experiences seem to take the recipient back to the 18th or 19th century, but not in this case. Now, they've said maybe there could be another explanation for it. It could be a mass hallucination or something like that. Now, from my reading, if I remember rightly, from the page where I found the link for this from and then went to it, the first person that it happened to, reputedly happened to, was a police officer. And
oh, really? I didn't know that.
He went through the time slip.
Oh, wow.
And went back to the 1940s. Now, apparently these only happen for a few seconds, maybe a minute or so. But you do get the sense of people being around you. They're not entirely dressed the way you are, or they don't speak entirely the way that you do.
Yeah.
Because what we got to realise is 80 odd years ago, the language in the city centre would have been completely different.
Even the accent was partially different. Yeah. I remember my great granddad. Vaguely remember my great granddad. He was born sort of Scotland Road way.
Yeah.
And his accent, the brief sort of memories I've got of him speaking, because he passed away when I was young. The brief memories I've got of him speaking were very harsh R's. So where we would say drains, he would say drains.
So it was a very harsh...
Yeah, and theatre, he'd say theatre. So it was kind of like he was talking like this, but with a very, very harsh kind of speech, you know?
Yeah, so over time the letters have become more rounded.
Yeah, well, accent is changing. It seems to have softened.
Yeah.
I mean, our accent isn't like...
Oh, no, our accent isn't...
The accent from someone who'd say born closer to the city.
No, it's not.
We're from Bootle.
Yeah.
Bootle, rather. And our accent would be different. And now I can feel myself sliding into the real Scouse lilt, because I'm talking about it now.
Yeah, sliding into the little twang.
I can't seem to stop it. But yeah, our accent, so it changes. So if you wake up somewhere and for whatever reason and you're hearing different.
Oh, yeah.
And you're seeing different. You're seeing adverts for, say, Fry's Toffee or... Fry's Chocolate, Bovril, all that kind of stuff.
War bonds and stuff like
cigarette adverts that aren't around anymore.
That's very true, that. I haven't seen one of them for a long time.
You're going to be thinking, oh, hang on, what's happened here? Yeah. So, I don't know where I was going with that.
I think it was more so the fact that I mentioned the 40s and
the accent, and I just jumped on it, and
you just jumped on it.
It went absolutely nowhere. Sorry.
Yeah, but what I want to say is, I was talking about this to my mum earlier on, about the time slips. Now she knew about it. Now she used to work in a shop up on Bold Street years ago when I was young. But I mentioned, now, you know where Coyote Ugly is on Bold Street, don't you?
Other bars are available, but yes.
Nice. So, you know the alley, well, the walkway between Coyote Ugly, the Crafty Chandler, and Concert Square.
Yeah.
Nice. So you got Concert Square. You got the walkway. Now, this was earlier on in the year. This was like height of summer. Nice. Now, I went into the city centre for I met up with one of my friends, went for lunch, went for a couple of drinks and stuff like that. And strangely enough, we cut through that walkway onto Bold Street to go up to the shop to get a bottle of water, get a few bits and bobs from the shop, and then head up to another pub. But what struck me is when I was walking through that walkway, I got the smell of something that you don't really smell in the city centre until later on in the year. So I'm talking like late November, October, early November, December time. Roasted horse chestnuts.
Okay.
Nice. And there was no one there selling them. No one there roasting them.
And this was just a smell outside.
This was just the smell. Now, I don't know whether my mate noticed it, but I was like, no, you sniff at the air and you're like, that's unusual. Kind of thing.
Okay.
And yeah, it was just weird. There was maybe it's happened to me and I've not realised.
Maybe. If this kind of thing actually really does interest you, most people listening in Liverpool will know of the writer and author Tom Slemon.
Oh yeah,
he's kind of a Liverpool legend, isn't he? Really?
Yeah, he really is.
But if you don't know of him, look him up. Tom Slemon. He's not paying us to say this. He doesn't even know that we've said his name. But I'm sure he'd be.
Really doesn't.
I'm sure he wouldn't mind. Yeah, he does.
Well, we hope he will. We hope he doesn't.
We hope he doesn't. Tom, if it bothers you, sorry. But he's right. His books are fascinating, and I'm not. As I say, I'm not a believer in the paranormal and all that. I'm just not. It's just I need to see it to believe it. Okay, if you can't prove it, I'm not sure.
I've seen things.
Yeah.
I know it's real. I've seen.
Okay,
things.
but I haven't, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I know.
So until I see it for myself,
we're going to have to convert you, Dave.
Oh dear. I don't like his eyes when he said that. Yeah, it's just not me. I'm more.
No, I understand where you're coming from.
Same with many things. I don't believe it until I see it.
Well, no, you're a person that needs to have tangible proof.
Yeah. Or have it proved to me beyond all reasonable.
Oh yeah, beyond all reasonable doubt.
Yeah, but as I say, it hasn't at the moment. But if this is that, and I have read a lot of Tom Slemon's books, and they are brilliant. They are really good. I've not been on any of the tours around the city. Rodney Street, which is supposed to be one of the most haunted places in the country. Never mind the city.
Believe me, I've walked through Rodney Street on the way out, the way back from nights out.
Yeah.
And I don't even know why I've been up that end of town, because I don't generally go for a drink up that end of town.
No, I tend. I couldn't decide whether I was saying generally or just tend, but I come out gend.
I think the only pub that I would go to up that end would be when it was still open, the Pickers. Or oh God, what's the one that's underground? I can't remember the name of it.
I don't know. I do like the Philharmonic pub though. That's a nice pub.
The Philharmonic, yeah.
And it's up that way.
It's up that way. Or the Fly on the Loaf. They'd be the only really free pubs that I go into up there.
Yeah.
Or Kiss the Red when that was open, because they used to be able to play pool and stuff in there.
Oh, I don't remember Kiss the Red, no. Fair enough. I mean, if you remember Kiss the Red, fair play. I don't. But yeah, he's done a lot of writing about ghosts in the city, and I say there is a ghost tour, so if that's your thing, have at it.
There's actually a few ghost tours around the city centre.
I've never been on one.
I've never been on one myself, but I do want to do one.
Just to see what the fuss is about. Yeah. I'm going to leave you with one more. Do you know the Mersey tunnels are haunted? Or one of them is?
Is it?
I think it's the Birkenhead tunnel. So it'd be the
Kingsway.
Is it the Kingsway?
I think it's the Kingsway. I'm sure it is.
People have seen a couple of things in there. Apparently, there's the ghost of a female hitchhiker.
Yeah, I've heard about that one.
Yeah, she fell off her boyfriend's motorbike in the 60s.
Yeah.
And there's also been seen a white car screaming through the tunnel, going at some pace.
Is this the one that just
it just vanishes?
Screaming through it, just disappears round the bend.
Yeah, I've heard, and it thunders through.
Yeah, it thunders through.
It's being chased, or it's chasing something.
I remember something from when I was a kid, and this is when I wasn't young. I was just before we started seniors, so I was 11, just turned 11. We were coming back from Wales. I don't know why we went through the Birkenhead tunnel. No idea. But we did. For some weird reason.
You did. Fair enough.
Right. It was late on. So you're talking about 10:30, 11 o'clock at night here, and the tunnel wasn't that busy.
Right.
And as we came round the corner, we heard this almighty loud car. That's the only way I can describe it. I just came flying round the corner, as you said, at some speed, and it just, as we came back round the corner, it was gone.
Yeah.
There was no way
it could have got out that fast.
It could have got out that fast, because that tunnel's longer.
It's long and it's windy.
It's
as well.
And windy.
Yeah.
And it's longer than the other one.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Because the way it twists, if I remember rightly, it's because the way it twists and turns.
Yeah, it does. I remember going through on my motorbike all my life.
Oh,
terrified.
Brave.
No, I wasn't. I jumped lanes and got pulled at the other end. You're not supposed to move lanes in the tunnel.
No, you're not supposed to move lanes in the tunnel, Dave.
That's stupidly,
very stupid.
I was on two wheels and I was in the outside. I can never remember if I was in the lane in the middle. I think it's the inside lane, that wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it is. But
I've been driving 16 years, still don't know. Okay.
Wow. And I get in a car with you.
You do. You brave soul.
Wow.
So yeah, I'm going through and there's a bus coming at me.
Yeah.
No, nothing ghostly about it. It was a bus.
Yeah.
It was early morning. I was going to work. It was a bus.
Oh, was this when you worked over in?
And that worked on the Wirral.
Oh yeah.
And I jumped lanes because I panicked. I hadn't had the bike long, and and there was an expletive or two, sort of rattled off, and I moved over, and I got a pull at the end. But I've never seen anything sort of in there, and I've been through there all hours of the day and night, and I've never seen a thing. I'm not saying it's not there, but just because I've never seen it doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
Maybe it's because you haven't had.
Maybe it's because I'm not open to the experience.
No, what I was going to say is maybe it's because you haven't had an experience that.
Maybe.
Yet.
Maybe. But my mind is quite closed off to it because I just don't believe in it.
Maybe you'll be a little bit more receptive and you might actually experience something.
Maybe.
Or, then again, it might not be for you.
Might not be. I'm very much, if you believe it, you go ahead and whatever makes you feel better. I'm all about letting people do what they want to do and believe what they want to believe and be who they want to be. Fair play. Go for it.
Yeah.
But me personally, it's, they're allowed to, but I'm allowed to be me as well.
Yeah, I'm not saying change who you want.
No, of course.
Change who you are. But
no, of course not. But I'm just thinking, no.
All I'm saying is maybe be a little bit more receptive to
maybe the
unknown.
Maybe. But I do like that William Mackenzie story. I enjoyed reading that.
That William Mackenzie story is a corker.
Yeah. Giving the finger to the devil, why not? Okay, I'm starting to ache. Are we going to wrap this up?
Oh, yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah, it might be a good idea to start wrapping this up because my back's starting to hurt.
My feet have gone to sleep.
Your feet always go to sleep. Have you? Yeah, let's not go there.
No, let's not. I'm not even sure where you were going, but I don't want to go there.
I wasn't. I think it's something to do with you and working behind the desk and work or something.
Yeah, I think we're getting tired now, aren't we?
Yeah.
Thank you very much if you're still here for sticking with us. We did ramble and talk a lot of nonsense at the end there. If you're listening on Halloween, enjoy whatever you're up to. If you're listening in the future, I hope you enjoyed Halloween. That's about it. Until next time, I've been Dave C. Bannerman.
I've been Martin Ian Almond.
This has been History Laid Bare. We'll catch you next time.